good, everyone? We are in my new place. It's just a back room. It's pretty small. As you can see the entire thing from right. We got a bed. We got all of the essentials. Got my stretching machine. We got a bathroom. It'll do. I like it so far. We're about to go to the skate park. It's probably like 95 degrees out right now. So, just going to be a really, really hot session. Hopefully it's not too miserable. Hopefully we can at least get some good clips in. And let's get it going. Just made it to the skate park. It's about 95 degrees right now. Really regretting on coming here, but I'm gonna do some riding. It's really, really hot. Alright, it's ridiculously hot. The session's probably gonna last 10 minutes. Here we go. Okay, that lasted 7 to 10 minutes. I started dripping sweat after about 3 minutes. I'm wearing pants because I don't have my shorts with me. It was just way too hot to be riding in the skate park, especially with no one there. That's never fun when you're by yourself. Everyone's busy or at work or something. Okay, story time. It's a little too hot today to be really doing anything outside. So I'm going to tell you guys a little story on how I became a professional scooter rider. It's definitely something that I never really planned would be a career for me. And in some ways it is a career, in some ways it isn't a career. Just because you should never really base yourself off of action sports. You always should have a backup plan. So it all started when I was about 6, maybe 8 years old. My parents bought my brother a skateboard. At the time I was really into baseball, and he got a skateboard, and I was like, I want a skateboard. I want to do that kind of stuff. So my brother and I started sharing a skateboard. Eventually we started building little ramps outside the house. Then it started getting more into rollerblading. Rollerblading seemed a little bit more fun to me at the time because I could do flips. Well, at the time I couldn't do flips, but I saw people doing flips, and that's what really brought me into that. So I rollerbladed until I was about 10. This was in the year 2000. In 2000, Razor scooters came out. Razor scooters were the biggest thing at the time. Everyone and their mom had a Razor scooter. except for me. I didn't get one until later in the year. And once I got one, I knew I just wanted to do as many tricks on that thing as possible because they looked so cool. I mean, like, I can't even describe to you how cool a Razor scooter was at the time. Anyways, so a few years go by. Me and my neighbors, we've been doing tricks on scooters for a while. I think I was about 13 years old. Yeah, I was 13. I was playing a baseball game at this skate park, Bonita. Well, I wasn't playing there, but the park was Bonita. I was playing a baseball game, and out of nowhere, the Razor van shows up. And I'm like in the middle of a baseball game. I'm like, oh my god, the Razor van just showed up. It's like got a picture of someone doing a scooter trick on the side of the van. And I was just like mind blown. I was like, oh my god, I need to get out of this baseball game and go to the skate park right now with my scooter. At the time, I had just installed glow sticks under my scooter, which kind of made like a cool neon effect. So, that's when I met Ollie. Ollie at the time was the team manager for Razor. I met Ollie and they were actually leaving at the time, which really sucked because I just wanted to go to the skate park when I saw that van. Ollie said, keep it up, man. Maybe we'll see you around. I then saw Ollie probably about a month or so later, and I had my scooter with me at the time. I also had my rollerblades on, and I was rollerblading, and he was like, yo, get your scooter. So I went and grabbed my scooter. It was one of those really crappy foldable Razor scooters at the time, and he was telling me about all these tricks that the pros could do, the guys that were on Team Razor. So once I kind of figured out that there was an actual sport going on, like people were actually doing real tricks on this, then I really got into it. In about 2005 or 2006 is when MySpace came out. And MySpace was the original Facebook, basically. So I added the only scooter rider I knew, who was Ricky Wernicke, on MySpace. I then saw his top friends. At the time, top friends were like you had a top 8 on MySpace. And his first person was Dustin Nooner. Second person was, I believe, Casey Corning. I added both of them right off the bat, and I started looking up their YouTube videos, and I really discovered that kids were already making YouTube videos on Razor scooters. So, naturally, I went and got a camera and started making YouTube videos. Actually, the next day after I added Dustin, I saw him at Monrovia Skate Park, which is the skate park that's less than a mile away from where I am right now. It's pretty much where I grew up. So I saw him there, and it really inspired me because they were way better than me at the time. And they told me about this contest that was happening, SD1. SD1! That was over 10 years ago. So I hear that there's a contest in like 3 months. Naturally, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go and I gotta win. This is gonna be the biggest thing ever. So I trained for like 3 months straight. And by the time SD came around, I was so prepared for that contest. I actually got first place in amateur at SD1, which got me sponsored by Fusion. Fusion was a new company at the time. So once I got sponsored, everything started getting a little bit better. And I started becoming a little bit closer friends with Ollie, who was the team manager for Razor. Things started to slowly die around when I was 18. Just because the scooter scene hadn't really been going up, it kind of like flattened out. And if anything, it might have been dying a little bit. So I kind of started to give up on it. I'd been doing it for about 8 years or so at the time. And out of nowhere, I get a call from All Wheel Sports, who is the company that I currently perform for. All Wheels asks me to perform in Ohio at Cedar Point in 2010 for 3 months. And I was going to make pretty good money. Of course, I'm like, hell yeah. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to go do that right now. So, right after that summer ends, I get a call from Ollie. Ollie picks me up on a Team Razor and says, we're going to Australia next month. Mind is blown. I'm on Razor now, and I'm going to Australia. That's the greatest thing ever. So at this time, I was pretty much making a decent living off of riding scooters. It was like a full-time gig at the time. So, did a lot of traveling for Razor, especially from 2000 2010 till 2013 or so, I probably went to at least 10 different countries just to compete, which was the coolest thing at the time. When I was about, I think it was 2013, 2014, I had a really bad faceplant, which was kind of a good reality check to let me know how dangerous the sport really was. And I had shows that I could perform in, so competing kind of like went downhill from me. I just didn't really feel the need to be hurting myself. After that crash, it kind of was like a really good reality check to let me know, hey, this is really dangerous. You should kind of watch yourself if you want to continue to be like functional, you know? So after that crash, I really slowed down on the competing and really focused more on the business side of things and on performing. And that's kind of where I am now. I love performing. That is like the greatest thing for me is performing. That's literally what I live for. I live for performing. So now I've been more into trampoline stuff. I'm still riding my scooter. I do it mostly for exercise. I love riding. I just don't like to really do tricks or anything that could even possibly get me hurt. And that's where I am. So that's how I became a professional scooter rider. Total accident. My whole life I always wanted to be a pro athlete, but I didn't really know what. And just pro scooter riders happen to work for me. Who knows? So the lesson of this story is do what you love, because you never know when it's going to pay off. I would have never thought that I was going to be a professional scooter rider. My whole life I wanted to be a pro athlete, but I didn't really know what sport I wanted to do. It was usually probably going to be baseball, because that was like my main passion growing up. But do what you love. You never know when it's going to work out. Keep pushing for your goals.